Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In this video, I'll be talking about list slicing. I'll be talking about step over under the list slicing in this video. Now, remember the platform I'm using is a Google Colab where you write your Python code without installing Python on your system. You can also have access to Google Colab on your phone, provided you have access to internet on your phone and also on your computer. So what is list slicing? List slicing is a process of getting a particular fraction or chunk of a list for something while the rest of the list is left intact. Anytime we do a list slicing, we create a new copy of the referred variable. Now, what do I mean by that? So this is start, stop, step over. Remember, I actually said you can make a comment on your notebook whenever you are writing your code so that you can remember what you have done or what you have written. So I'm going to just make this comment, step over. So once you are done typing, you can press escape and you are good to go. Now the first thing I will be creating a variable called number. Let me say number contains a list of numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember, I'm not quoting them because they are not strings, they are integers. So I don't need to put whether double quote or double quote or single quote. So let me run this. Now, if I say print number, as you can see, it's printed out what we have here. That is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you remember in indexing, in the other video I posted concerning indexing in Python, Python starts counting from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on like that, which means where we have this particular item which is 1 is at the index of 0, where we have this particular item which is 2, this number which is 2 is at the index of 1, where we have this number which is 3 is at the index of 2, and progressively like that. So when I printed number, it's actually printed out what we have here exactly. But when we come to start, stop, and step over, now I'm going to first do with start and stop. I'm going to come up with an example with start and stop. So let me say print number. Let me say print number, open your bracket. Now if you want to specify the index that you want to print, you use your square bracket. So for example, if I want to start from the index of 0, that is where we have this one, then I would say 0, then semicolon. Where do I want to stop? Which index do I want to stop? Let's say I want to stop at the index of 6, then I'll say 6. If I say print, as you can see, it started from index of 0. What do we have at the index of 0? We have 1. Then where is it stopping? It's stopping at the index of 6. But remember, the stop index that you specified will not be printed out. Let me explain. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we say you should start from 0 to 6, which means from 1, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Normally you will expect it to print out this 7, but it won't print out 7 because we have actually specified that it should stop at 6, which means it should not print whatever we have at the index of 6. So it is going to stop here. We specify start from here and stop at the index of 6. That is, don't print what we have at the index of 6. So that is why it's printing only from 1 to 6. If I say stop at the index of 7 and I print this, as you can see, it has added 7. Why? Because I said it should stop at the index of 7. And what do we have at the index of 7 is this 8, because if you count from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it's not going to print out this 8 because we said it should stop at the index of 7. So it's going to print out only from 1 to 7 and ignore what we have at the index of 7. And it's going to print from the index of 0 to 6. So that is how start and stop works. Now if you want to do step over, now step over, as I have it here, I have indicated stop and start, I have indicated stop. So if you now want to step over, that is jump a particular index to the other one. For example, let me say print, let me just use this. Now add the semicolon to it. If I want to step over by 2, that is you want it to take 2 steps, and I print this, as you can see, what is printed out? It printed the first index, that is we specify start from 0, end at 7, but step over by 2. That is, we can print the first one but step over by 2, that is count after you print this initial one, then count 1, then jump on the 2, that is going to print 3. Then once you print 3, count 1, then print 2 again, it's going to print 5, then count 1 again, 1, then jump on 7, it's going to print out 7. That is the essence of this step over, that is step over by 2. So if I say step over by 3 and I print this, I'm going to delete this cell, and I print this, we can see that it actually printed the initial one, which is what we have in index of 0, which is 1. Then it step over by 3, that is 1, 2, then it will print the 3. Then we also count 3 again, 1, 2, then print the third one. So that is step over. So it is starting from 0. It will definitely stop at 7, that is it will not print out what we have at the index of 7, but at the same time it will be jumping some steps, that is it will be jumping by taking 3 steps, and that is why we have this print out that is giving us 1, 4, and 7. You can also have it for a list. This we only made example here for integer. Let's say we create a cart, let's say Amazon cart, a list. This is going to be a list also, or a list of strings. Books, let's say sunglasses, let's say toys, let's say grapes, remember to put your codes. So let me run this now. If I'm going to print this Amazon card, let me print out this Amazon card. Let me just add one cell there and print Amazon card. Remember, always type your code by yourself so that you get used to it. So as you can see, it's printed out what we have under Amazon cart here. It's printed out everything, but if you want to do start, stop, and step over, it's still the same process. What I'll just do is print Amazon cart, then open your square bracket, press 0, then colon. You want to start from the initial, then you can also specify where you want it to stop. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, so let's say stop at 3, index of 3. I'm going to print out this. As you can see, it's started from the what we have at the index of 0, which is notebooks, then to this and to this. Now we said it should stop at 3, which means it's not going to print what we have at the index of 3. And this is how it counts the index. This is index of 0, this is index of 1, this is index of 2, and this is index of 3. But it's not going to print out this group because we said it should stop at the index of 3. Remember, we have start, stop, and step over. Now if we want it to step over, let's say we want it to step over by 2. Let's say we want it to step over by 2. As you can see, it's only printed out notebooks. Why? Because we said it should step over by 2. That is, print this initial list, which is at the index of 0, which is notebooks, then step over, that is, then now count 1, then 2, print toys. If we have, let's say we have another thing here, let's say cars, let's say brush. So I'm going to run this again, because whenever you change anything in a cell that you have run before, you need to rerun it. So now if I say stop, let me say stop at index of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 6 items there. So let's say stop at the index of 5, then but step over by 2. As you can see, it started from notebooks, that is this notebooks, then it now counted 1, then 2, it printed toys, then it counted 1, 2, it printed cars. So that is how start, stop, and step over works in Python. So now there's another thing you can do. So in this list slicing, start, stop, step over is just a part of indexing that we also use in list slicing. Now in this list slicing, now let me just make a comment there. List slicing. In this list slicing, let's assume we have maybe we should just go by the Amazon cart, or let's just say cart 2. Let's just say cart 2. Cart 2. Let me assume we have, I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it here so that I don't start retyping, then I'll run this. So let me print this. Let me print this. So let me say print cart 2. As you can see, it's printed out cart 2. Now in list slicing, let's say I want to change. Remember, in indexing in Python we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how indexing work in Python. Now let's say I want to change what we have in index of 0 to, let's say, another thing. For example, let's say this is our shelf and we want to change what we have on that shelf or in that cart to another item entirely. So I'll say print Amazon cart, or before we print, let me just say cart 2 equal to. Now before you say equal to what, I want to change it to another thing entirely. So you specify, you open your square bracket, you specify the index you want to change. Now let's say I want to change what we have in index of 0. I want to change it to, let's say, soap. So let's say soap. That is soap. So I'm going to run this. So by the time I say print cart 2, By the time I say print cat2 print, as you can see, this notebook that we printed out here, now we have changed it to soap. So when we printed out this particular cat, what are we having now? We are now having soap instead of notebooks. That is list slicing. That is list slicing. And that is why in that definition we made us to understand that whenever you do list slicing, you create another copy of the original variable, whereas other lists remain intact. It is only those things that you specify that you whatever effect you want to make will affect. It won't affect everything, because I have specified now that okay, I'm changing whatever I have in index of 0 to soap, and I printed it out. That is why it's changing this to soap. Let's try another one. Let's say print cat, or let me just say cat2 again. Underscore 2. Let's change another index. Let's say maybe index of 3, maybe to comb. I'm going to run this. So I'm going to print cat2 again. Now, as you can see, what do we have in index of 3 before? 0, 1, 2, 3. We add grapes. Now, but here, after we have changed it to comb, what do we have now? We have now comb here instead of grapes. That is 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, as you can see, it's creating another type or another list of items that is totally different from the original one, but is only changing those things, those indexes that we refer to, that is index of 3, index of 0. So that is how list slicing works in Python. I hope that is clear enough. Thank you.